Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? It's me, Paddy from Across the Shuck, and you're very welcome back to the channel. Well, look, I'll tell you something. I was sitting in my wee room here, and I was going to do my EDC knife routine, which I used to do in the evening time. So in the morning, I'd have picked my knife the night before, because in the morning trying to pick a knife, sometimes you don't have the time or whatever. But I'm retired now. I have plenty of time. I'm no rush. I have plenty of sharp knives if I did need one. But this is what I would go through now when I come into my room. And what I've got up here is today's EDC. Talk a little bit about that. But I'm going to talk about the knives I used yesterday. And this is quite common for me to have 3 different knives that I'll use in one day. The chances of blunting them is very rare. In fact, very, very rare. But I can take an edge off. Yesterday I was carrying this, the Buck Saunter, which is a super knife. And I used it for all sorts about the house yesterday. I opened up a couple of boxes. We got a new bread maker, that sort of box, opened it up and done just normal EDC things. But I also had to cut up the dogs. We get them treats and it's real chicken, dehydrated. So they're quite firm and hard. And I used that. Now, if I'm using a 1095 when I'm doing any cutting, multiple cuts, which I done yesterday with this. This is in S30V, by the way. It would take the edge off it. This is the joy of maybe having modern steels. If you're going to use a knife more hardly, that's about, as hard as I'm going to get in most days. But so I literally have done 2 swipes on this because I was just sitting here going to do it. And I thought, no, I'll do a video on it. But S30V, look, it's had 2 swipes in this green compound. I have diamond compound, but it doesn't need it for, for a day's work for S30V. So there it is. That's receipt paper. It's sharp all the way down, right to the tip. Beautiful. So it doesn't need any more. But just for the sake of the show, I'll just do a couple of little swipes. And I do this start up at this corner for a reason. And I wanted to say that for people here, sort of maybe around the don't. I start up on the corner with the knife raised. And then as I bring it down, I'm coming around the bend. This is the bend I'm talking about. Just coming around the edge of the knife. And then I give it a sweep along so that the whole blade goes right along. So I'll come down and I'll go up. I copied this off Jeff Jewell. I have no claim to any sharpening skills whatsoever. So that's all I do. And very lightly, not hard. This knife wasn't blunt or anything. And now, after, I'll always give it a wee wipe. This knife is now ridiculously sharp. It's perfect. It's back to its complete working edge before I used it. Doesn't have to be, I don't have to use any diamond tools or anything to sharpen it. That little strop done that knife after all the work it done yesterday. So that's ready. That would be ready to go back in my box. Set that up over there. These 2 knives, however, are a bit different. This one, which is the Nullichucky, I had these 2 out yesterday because I'm going to do a video on this one, which you haven't seen yet, but you will do. But here's what I was doing yesterday. With this, I used to cut up chops. My chops for tea, and on a ceramic plate. So we all know what ceramic will do to blade steels. If it's 1095, 420, 440, things like that, it does blunt them incredibly quickly. This is in D2, and I was surprised how good this was at coping with a dinner, eating 2 chops off a plate. So, and let me say another wee thing. Sometimes you can get people to come on and they'll lift their knives up and they'll do their knives and then they'll do, oh, that didn't work. They can do that and the knife looks really sharp. And it could well be, but this is why I like receipt paper. I have a little box with all my receipts in, and I keep that because it's a medium that I know when my knife is sharp or not. Just because I've used it for years. That's what I use to test my sharpness. So this is in D2. It's a wee bit damaged near the front, and this back, maybe you can't tell it, but it is a wee bit ragged at the back there. Don't know what I was doing to get it there. That could have been a bad sharpening the last time, so I don't know that, but it's just not quite right. So with D2, I want to do it. A strop, I don't think is going to get this out of the way for me. Now, it might and it might not. And I want to give a shout out to EDC. Please go and check his channel out, EDC. He done a video, I think it was 2 days ago, on sharpening, and he was practicing sharpening. And like he said, you know, he's maybe new to the game. And I applaud him for doing it, because it's a hard thing to do sharpening on a video. And if you've never done one, sit down with a camera and you're behind the camera like I am. My camera is right there, and you're going to do a sharpening video. It's difficult to do. But I applaud him wholeheartedly, because he was giving it a try and he was doing most everything right. But sometimes it just doesn't work on camera. You know, if you've watched my channel, I've made so many faux pas, and there's lots of sort of wee rules you should keep with, but I'm not very good at keeping with wee rules. I just do what I do when you're not here. And that's it. You can make up stuff, but it's no point. So with D2, that's the edge has just gone off it. It's not blunt by any means. This can go on for days in use. But this is what I'd picked out because I knew this would probably need something. This is a fine diamond. This is off the Lansky system. You know, the system that Lansky have. And these are two of the stones. I don't use this system anymore. In fact, I bought a new system and then actually went on to something else shortly afterwards, which is usually the way I waste money. But so I've got all these stones, and I now use them to hand sharpen. Because one thing, I love hand sharpening with my hand. This has this lovely grip here. It's just great. You can get your hand below. All you want is your hand below that edge, so you can't cut yourself. So it's perfect for holding that to do quick sharpenings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it like he done. He went to the lowest grade that he wants to use to sharpen it. This has enough rough edges that I don't think this will do it for my satisfaction anyway. So I've got this is a fine one. There we go. It'll just tell you on the back. This is fine. This was probably about 600 when I first had it. It was used, and it has been used now because I use it for hand sharpening quite a lot because it's just quick to use. And I would take this out in my go bag. I have a couple in my go bag. If you can pick these up, you know, get a second hand set. They last for years. They're great stones, absolutely great. And I go on places like Etsy and wherever. Over in the States, it's easier. You can get the single ones easier than it is over here. But I was on Etsy this morning having a look. You can get some of them for £11, just single stones, if you want to use them. These are the ceramic stones they have are fantastic. And they come in two different. You get a sapphire one, which is this the sapphire? Yeah, this is the sapphire one. And you get one above it again, which are fantastic for giving a polished edge if you want one. I just don't spend the time. Sorry, I'm waffling. So I'm going to try it on this one just to see how it goes. So I'll just start up here in that corner, which I wasn't happy with. And then I'll just come down the knife. No pressure, just let the knife, just guide it along the knife. And when you get to here, you're lifting the hand a wee bit just to get it to go right around the belly. You want that to go right around the belly. So I'll do this for a couple of goes. And I'll just see how that goes. That's say 5. And then I'll do 5 on this side. I'll just give that a wee edge off. 1, 2, 3. And don't go fast because you'll end up slipping off. Just take it right to the edge. You can stop there if you want. I lift it off because I'm already lifting my elbow up to get to that edge. And I just go like that. So I'm lifting it off. I'm not dragging it over the end. That's just me. I've probably told lots of other ways of doing it in my time. So there we go. That's about 5. And then I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll do 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, again, I've been doing this for years, so, you know, it mightn't just be this easy if you're doing it, but a little bit of practice, that's not a hard thing to do. It's just trying to keep that same angle as best you can. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just the best you can. And now I've given that a little sharpen. I want to see what it's like at this back edge. Oh, there you go. Look, it just sliced it into that. That's perfect. I mean, that was very little time to get that edge back to where I'm quite happy with it. And then I'll go to this, which is a ceramic stone, which will give the edge a more refined edge. And I'm doing the same thing, and trying to keep that same angle. And I'll just do this. And what this does will just brighten the edge up again. And it means that when I go to lift this the next time, I know that it's going to be absolutely fine. So we'll just see what that's like. Does it feel any better? It does. You can actually hear it just going straight in and biting into it. Super. And again, this is mine. It's just habit. I always like to give it that little extra strop on my little green compound. Or I've got diamond strops if it was a much higher end steel, but it's D2 and diamond. The D2 works well with this green paste. This is a simple green paste, nothing expensive. And I just like to run that over it. And it's light touches on all this. I'm literally just touching the blade up. Absolutely fine. So I can put that away, and that's safe. The next time I pick that up and take it out, it'll be okay. That was used for eating meat. This was for daily tasks. They're both fine. This is a knife that I was putting through some use, just cutting a few cardboard boxes. What else did I do with it? It was just stuff around. I'm actually tidying up and revamping my little room. So I was just old stuff I was cutting up. I've got a bag of rubbish. This is the sort of thing. Why am I bringing a bag up? There's a bag of rubbish down there, just down here, that I've been, clearing stuff out and throwing it away because of a habit of just collecting boxes, because I can never throw them away because I think they're great for postage. So my wife's been giving off to me, so I'm having a complete revamp in here. And there's a bag down there where I was cutting up some boxes because this is a new one to me and I haven't used it much. And I always like to test in some manner or form to see what the blade steel is like. Now, I know that every one I've had from Rosecraft, the D2 has been well heat treated and it works perfectly because I use them a lot. So I'm not worried about that. But I literally just done that yesterday with this. There was nothing hard, nothing, look at that, just straight in and all the way down. It's as sharp as a razor. So it doesn't need any of these. But because I used it, I like just to stick it on a wee strop. And again, D2, you could put it on diamond strop if you wanted. I just like doing this. And I like just have that finish that it just, if there's anything at all that is stuck over, oh, get off there. So, and again, I literally just do this because I want to get the belly on the way down, and once I'm down on the flat, it's just straight along. So it's down the belly, round and flat. Down the belly, round and flat. And it gives you a lovely surface. Just really light, because there was nothing wrong with this. All I'm just doing is taking that edge and making sure it's lovely. And there we go. That is like a razor. And again, this paper is great for catching. I could go on and give that more stropping if I needed, but to be honest with you, this is absolutely razor sharp. It's just, it'll just pop off. It's like popping hairs off. Super. So that's it, and it's put away. So basically, that is my knives that I used yesterday, sharpened again and ready for use. Put them away, and that's them safe. Now, as you've heard me talking about recently, I'm starting to use my more treasured knives, for want of better words. My more treasured ones that I haven't used before, because at 65, nobody really wants my knives. I've said this before, so I may as well use them and enjoy them. I buy them because I think they're beautiful, and I'd love to use them, but I'd made excuses, just light use. But now, no, this is my EDC, and this one I have not used at EDC. It's been sort of lying in there. I've carried it to show, but not. I haven't even checked the blade on it, and that's the truth. And I picked this down, and then I was going to just give this a check. And again, another reason for doing this was giving it a check, and shame on me. It's sharp down the middle sort of thing, but it goes blunt at the edge. And at this back portion here, it's just not sharp enough. So again, this one is a very basic steel. I would say this is somewhere, I don't know, 420, something like that. I have no idea. I'm not sure whether it's even carbon steel. I don't know whether it's carbon steel. It looks very polished. There's no marks on it. It could be. This is a Cripple Creek. I'd wanted one of these for years and was so happy to get it. This is a real Stevie pleaser, this one, a Paddy pleaser. So I'm going to take it to this very, very fine diamond stone. And then I'm just going to do this again. I'm going to try and just give that back piece I'll just give it a little extra. And on here, I'm just going to do the same. And the nice thing about a wee stone, you can hit an area quickly without having to worry about doing the rest. And then I'm just doing the top, which seemed to be okay. So, and it's just that gentle, trying to keep that angle the same both ways, and then just lifting it up with your elbow. Is that about 5 of each? And then I'm going to take it to the paper now, because you never move on to the next stage until you've got yourself your knife sharp, no matter whether that's there you go, look at that. See that wee stone? Honestly, you can buy all these expensive stone, and this little leftover stone that I wasn't using, it's fantastic. And so's the coarse one on it, because I very rarely used it, so if I do need to reprofile in my hand, they're absolutely fantastic. If you get somebody selling a set of these diamond ones, buy them, because you'll get them at a really good price, and they're super stones. Look at the thickness of that stone. That will last for ages. So that's that sharp again. So I don't need to do any more of that. I don't want to take any more off this knife than I could possibly have to. And then again, I'm just going to try and refine the edge just a little bit. And I'm just doing this really quickly for you. You know, I might just take a wee bit more time. And bearing in mind, I'm looking behind this camera. I can see this part of it, but not the top end. So it's just sheer just feel of doing it. There you go. That should probably be absolutely plenty for that, and it shall give it an edge, nice polished edge now. Maybe it's not mirror polish. I never would say it would be. I can't be bothered doing mirror polished anymore. It's just a waste of time. It blunts really quickly. So let's see what this is like now. From tip, there you go. Isn't that lovely? It's a lovely, lovely knife. So that's ready for action. Ready for action for today. And I'm just going to do what I normally do anyway, which is just give it a quick rub. I just love to get this little quick rub, and it makes me feel good. And that's good enough for me as a reason to do it. Just a couple of times up and down. Just gives it that lovely, and you can actually feel how soft it is. As long as you're leaning lightly enough, you'll feel it. You'll feel, and a lot of knife sharpening is to do with feel. You get your feel for doing it, and we're all different. So there's that done. There's the paper. Let's have a last go at it. Look at that, beautiful. So this is a two-bladed knife, so I know this is going to drag on a wee bit, but hey, that's me. I like having a wee chat with you. Nothing changes. I just love a wee chat, and I wanted to see I brought this out, and I've never touched this blade. That's even worse than the original, the first blade there. Again, I'm just going to go to this. Really, it's a fine diamond. Now you can hear the difference in that. Can you hear that? Now you'll hear it gently become lighter and lighter, because I don't want to take this as one, it's an expensive knife for me to buy. Two, it's just a beautiful knife that I don't want to wear out. And I am going so lightly across here, so lightly. But you can hear how soft it got as we were going along. So we've done that, and we'll get this receipt paper out again. And there you go now. I wasn't on the edge, so I'm going to lift her up just a little bit and get on that edge. That's it. There we go. To bring my hand over here. And again, other people can do it right or wrong. This is my way. I am a complete amateur. I was self-taught, but copying and getting lessons from Jeff Jewell. I asked him so many questions about sharpening. And this is just the way I do it. I don't do it anywhere near like Jeff Jewell does it, but I got the basics. I got to learn what the basics were. And I mean, yes, there's chasing the burr, and that's what you should do. But when I'm just doing a knife that's already got the angle, I don't need a big burr. I just do it, you know, a couple of wee stripes up and down like this. And I could have just missed that edge by getting that apex by just a fraction. But that little fraction will make your knife blunt. It might look lovely. You can see that. That's really... it's mediocre at best. Just keep going. Keep hitting that as I'm coming back. This is what happened to MB yesterday a bit, where he got it and he wasn't getting it sharp enough. So, MB, there you go. Somebody who's been sharpening by years, but behind the camera, everything goes wrong. It always does. Do not worry about it and keep showing people, because people love to see it. Well, me personally, I'll speak about me. I love to see videos where people who are trying, and you can see them trying their best to get good at something that they've never done. It's all alien, and nowadays it's so easy to buy one of these machines that do it all for you. I love the fact that you were trying to do it by hand. That's just amazing. And if I can help it anyway, just, well, not after I've been doing this blade, you'll not want any help. So I would say that should be all right by now. I would say that will be all right by now. There we go. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. There you go. It doesn't take long, and it's by no means a rocket science. You're just rubbing metal, you know, on a bit of diamond to try and get a sharpened edge, and that's fine and been used for years. So there it is. And then what we'll do, we'll just again refine that little edge. Like, it really does make a difference behind, and I'm not making excuses for me. I'm more just letting Mark know that when you're doing it behind a camera, and it's like, don't forget, people are watching you, and you know that when you're first starting it out. So just enjoy the fact that you're doing it, and if it goes wrong, just keep on doing it till you get it right. Make the video long, sod them. People want, and I'm saying sod them, but people actually want to see how it's going for you, what you're doing, how you're improving, and they'll love it. You'll get plenty of people who are genuinely interested in your video. People like me, who love this sort of thing, love to see somebody having a go and trying something, because I truly believe all knife lovers should know how to hand sharpen. I don't know why, but they should do. I think it's part of that. If you're, you know, in the community, I think you really should try to learn. You wouldn't... Again, I've obviously need to lift that up a wee bit. I'm just hitting the wee bit. That's a wee bit lower than what I obviously sharpen at. A wee bit, you know, a wee bit of a lower, steeper angle into it. And I'll probably change that when I do the next sharpening of this. I'll just take it away and I'll give it. You can do it this way, and you can sharpen the knife perfectly this way as well, just up and down. I'm just trying to do this for the camera, which I shouldn't do. I should have gone back to that stone. That is the rules. Always go back. If something's not working, go back to the stone before and start again. But this should be all right. This should be fine. Crap, I'm going to do it on here. I'm going to do it literally on here, and this will probably do it better. Just, I don't want to keep you any longer. This probably needs reprofiled to my angle. This is probably what the factory had sent it out with, because this was new and unused when I got it. Now, it had been sharpened by somebody else, but their angle is obviously not the same as mine, and I really don't want to go back to the diamond for you. But when you go, and if this goes off air, I will go back and do it, because I would be annoyed if I took this out and it couldn't cut. So there you go, another faux pas by Paddy. MB, it does, it just happens to it all when you get behind the camera and you don't take your time. Nice sharpening is a little menace. It's got a nice enough edge on it. So, there we go. There you go. And that's just with a strop. So absolutely fine. That's my secondary blade. That'll do lovely. But that's what I do. This is going in my pocket today as my carry, and I know it's sharp enough that will get me through my day no matter what. And tomorrow morning I'll go the same procedure if I've used it. If not, I know that's a wee bit off from my hand sharpening. And this is the thing, when you go to sharpen a knife, When I'm sharpening knives, I know the angle that I'm keeping because I've been doing it for years. So I know the exact angle that I'm holding the blade at. And it really does, when I lift all my knives that I've actually used a lot, they've got all that same angle. So when I do it, I'm just repeating the process. This one is different. I've never sharpened this one. So sometimes people will be a steeper angle on it. Sometimes people will be a lower angle on it. And you'll get to, if I'm sitting in front of it and I'm doing it, I can work that out. And I just drop or lower until I get the right one. But that will go back on that diamond stone again after you've gone, and I will fix it properly. But there you go, a bit of a ramble. I think I went on for bloody 25 minutes again. Sorry. So you're going to see a video of this probably tomorrow, and this is going back in its wee box. I love this knife. This is definitely going to be my meat eating knife for the meantime. So if something else comes along, there you go. What did you think of it? Let me know. Do you do the same sort of thing? Do you, like, I mess about with different stones, which is wrong. You should get one that you like and stick with it. There's all the rules. I go against rules. Just do whatever I want to do and try it. And if it works, it works. I know how I can bring it to an edge no matter what stone I've got. So there you go. Paddy's gone. Have a lovely day. I just go on. Bye.